NCAA tournament gains a lot of weight right now. How's that sit with you?
Man, we just worked so hard, you know what I'm saying, to get to this point right now. And I know last year we lost first weekend. And this year we trying to turn this around. And obviously we know the job not done, so we're not really too complacent where we're at right now.
Guards are going to be challenged a lot. Kaysen and Gale, they provide some different matchups for the guards, especially they're bigger. What's your assessment of the matchups of the two backcourts?
Man, honestly, just locking into our game plan. I feel like we got a great game plan for Michigan, and obviously we know they got a lot of size at the guard position, but I feel like as long as we guard our yard, you know what I'm saying, just lock in, I feel like we'll be fine.
I know a lot of people talk about Trey, coming back and get to play him again. Also, Namari Burnett from Alabama. There's a few familiar faces.
Yeah, there's a couple. I get to play against Namari, but my boy Trey. It's gonna be a little weird playing against him, but at the same time, it's gonna be two teams going out there competing. That's gonna be my brother at the end of the day, no matter what.
You guys go against each other in practice too so much as a team. It's not like you've never played against each other before, right?
Yeah, that's facts. I mean, I guarded Trey a lot last year, especially.
So how you guys ultimately kind of use this past week to ready up for a whole new set of opponents on such a quick turnaround?
Honestly, just first day when we got back, we just getting our bodies right. A lot of treatment, just getting our bodies back acclimated, and then our practice. Obviously, we watch film, study how they play, study their plays, and just listen to our game plan. I feel like we'll be fine.
Comfort home away from home here, being in Atlanta a little bit at all?
No, I feel like being in Atlanta is kind of an away game. I feel like that was a job. Get past first weekend, we knew it was gonna come to Atlanta.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You touched on not being complacent, right? But what does that take? This is the first time for a lot of guys to be the second weekend. How do you sort of stay the course?
Honestly, I just feel like just having a lot of mature guys on the team will help with that, especially. Obviously, we all happy to be at this point, but we know the ultimate goal right now, and the ultimate goal is to win the national championship.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate y'all.
Denver. My first Sweet 16, my last year at D2, so it was like I didn't really think I was gonna be in another Sweet 16 opportunity in a D1 school. So, I mean, the pressure is kind of like I done got used to it a little bit, but also I feel like I'm a lot more spiritual than I was then. So I feel like God alone, Jesus Christ alone, is gonna give me the confidence that I need tomorrow.
Bruce said they might look into looking if you could get an extra year of eligibility. Is there any update on that?
Not that I know of, I'm going game by game, and I'm trying to just continue winning in March before I think about stuff like that.
Would you be open to returning to Auburn if you were to get another?
Yeah, I'm a for sure pray on it, whatever God got planned for me. But that would definitely, if I'm going to stay another year, I'm coming back to Auburn for sure.
You might have already been asked about this, but Michigan might play with two centers a lot. They got two really good guys down there. What have you seen from their front court?
Vlad's, real skilled post scorer, real skilled paint protector. We played against Kalkbrenner, but I think Vlad brings a different element of toughness to the game. You got Danny Wolf, is really a guard, really a 7-foot guard. So, it's going to be different. I don't think we ever played against a team that has 2-footers playing at the same time. But, I trust our game plan. I trust my team that we're going to get the job done.
When you're playing against a guy like Wolf, who's got that versatility, how tough does it make the matchups, for you guys defensively?
He's a good player. We done played against a lot of good players this year as well, so he's another good player, and just gotta play to his weaknesses and trying to get him out of his game. That's the only way we can do it.
What has it been like at Auburn the whole SEC, obviously football kind of is king, and I know in the state of Alabama particularly, what you guys have been able to do to build, with people lining up outside for hours to get tickets.
Yeah.
How has it felt just to kind of build up the program to a level that maybe people never imagined basketball could be at Auburn?
I ain't gonna lie, it's Bruce's program. He's been he's one of the greatest college coaches of all time, and he's slowly but surely built this program to something special, and it's just I'm grateful to be a part of that and be able to witness the teams in the past and what his coaching staff and him as well have did to this program. But I'm grateful. I'm just reaping the harvest of what they already sold in the past. And kudos to my team as well this year. I feel like we've helped Auburn boost them up a little bit. But I mean, honestly, I just feel like, this is just gradually overcame.
Yeah, I wonder too if people are like kind of thanking you guys. The football has kind of struggled the last couple of years at Auburn, and that you guys have given them something to cheer for there.
It's everybody will go through their highs and lows. I'm not really a big football guy, but I know what Coach Freeze got going on is something special, and you gotta give it time. You gotta give it time for people to buy in, and people to honestly lock into the program. But football coming up on the rise too as well.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're talking about the difficulty of the matchup between two big centers. Wolf is especially an exceptional passer.
Yeah.
He has those sidearm passes and underhand passes. How does that affect you to help defense, especially as you might not have your two bigs playing at the same time? You're going to be that guy that's the first help. How does that affect your approach?
Honestly, I trust in the way that we guard. We got a great game plan for them, and we pretty much guard everybody the same besides some certain players, and we're going to guard Wolf like he's a guard. So I feel like just staying in front of him one-on-one and kind of getting your hands out to try to stop those passes is really going to be big for us to get this win.
And so they play two bigs at Michigan State. It's very vertical. They take it to the rack. Cohen feels like he's done it from the free throw line all the time. How do you ultimately prepare for protecting the paint like that, knowing that you're going to have this too?
Yeah.
Really tough interior defense necessary.
We got Dylan. We got big dog Dylan Cardwell down there. We also got Janelle Bloom. So I ain't gonna say that's at least in my words, but I trust them. And I know you brought up Michigan State and Ole Miss, but we got to focus on Michigan right now and locking into the game plan and trying to get the job done with them so we can advance to the next game.
You say the group is really focusing on just one opponent right now?
Yeah, we're focused on one opponent. Yeah. We're not trying to think ahead. We might have Ole Miss and Michigan State. We got to worry about Michigan first. Thank you.
Shaney, what does your prep look like when y'all might not even be on the court tomorrow until like 10 p.m. Local time?
Auburn's everything. Auburn's basketball, football, then we got baseball, we got soccer, our fans playing in Atlanta, they always come back, always come back to their final arena out. So it's gonna be a blessing. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be more basketball. That's exciting stuff.
Kind of smiling and talking about it. Yeah. What's it going to be like to face that, especially in the NCAA tournament again?
It's exciting, being able to share the court with a brother back again. Sadly, he's wearing a different color. By the end of the day, I want to see him do good. And I'm really excited to see Trey.
And facing Danny Wolf again, how much does that bring back memories of the Yale game and kind of wanting revenge against him?
Technically, I didn't play against so I can't really tell you, but excited, seeing the game, a very good, talented player. Excited to be able to, get my one up against him, I guess.
Chad, how do you guys keep
after these days off and make sure that you don't fall back down to being complacent and keep keeping it a
I mean, we keep repeating to ourselves that job is not done. It's just we went from one weekend to the other, still got to make it to the next one. So every day, everybody trying to, just keep that in their heads, just telling them, like, don't feel comfortable or ain't nothing to be really happy about. Like, yeah, you win one game, exciting. Be excited for that night, I guess, but then after that, back to, job is not done.
Do you feel like you need Dylan to, you want Dylan to give you a pep talk?
Oh, yeah. I told Dylan, I'm like, brother, I need you to come there tomorrow. If you have to cuss everybody out one by one, go for it.
How helpful is it that you've already played in this arena this year?
I mean, it's amazing. It's a little advantage. Play here, and the day that we played here, we had a pretty good shooting night, so we're comfortable with that, and confidence that we might have. We're gonna have another night like that tomorrow.
How much does it help having such a short travel?
A lot. I don't like flying and really traveling a lot, so it was good that we just down the road for real. No problem.
Chad, so we're in the second week of the NCAA tournament. It feels like the stakes are a lot higher. Does that resonate with you guys in this group, knowing that there's just a few wins
I mean, yeah, obviously the stakes are higher because, it's Sweet 16. But at the same time, we locked in. It's just another game for real. We cannot let all the extra stuff get to our head or bother us.
Cheney was saying you guys are really focused in on one opponent. How honed in on this Michigan scout do you think this group is?
Oh, we really locked into it. People really want to jump forward to Elite Eight, Final Four. I'm like, you have to pass your next game to even think about that. So I think like the guys and the coaching staff have been doing a great job to make sure, we locked in onto our next game.
The attentiveness of the defensive scouts are going to provide a lot of complicated looks offensively in the half-court set.
Wait, repeat that again?
Say your attentiveness to your defensive scout, they're going to be really complicated in their half-court sets. What's your kind of their read of their complicated offense, especially with having two centers, knowing that you're going to be really active on the perimeter on defense?
I mean, we just got to make sure we all stick with coach's game plan. They created something special for this team. So as long as we do that, and obviously it's a game where I'm going to have to be extra active because, they got them two big guys and they got really good growers that can shoot the ball. And so, I just got to make sure, stay locked in with the game plan and just be extra crazy out there and do my thing.
With that, there was so much conversation last week in Lexington about guarding ball pressure. Do you think the bigs and the defense as a whole have learned anything about that experience and improved anything to yourselves? And I mean, he only had 7 rebounds, a guy who's sort of walking double-double.
Yes. The guys really locked into the game plan, and that's why I'm really confident because even though you have to add another one this time, but I feel like our guys know what they're doing and they're going to, take care of business.
Thanks, Chad.
No problem.
I might have been asked this already, but just kind of how you feel this week.
Play real mellow basketball, post work, pull up, all that. I'm like that's a jam. That's a jam right there. Everybody wants to be the best at something, but at the same time, it brings us together. That lets us know that we entertain each other, that we laugh and joke with each other. We got
Hey, what's happening? What's happening, Huntsville? We in the building. No, I'm just kidding.
Where is everybody? No, I don't mean them. I mean. What's up, Miles? Miles. How you doing? Great to see you. Good to see you too. Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Who we missing?
Moves.
Missing Dylan? Where? Oh. Yeah.
One more. I need people one more. Hey, Moose. Moose.
Yes, sir.
Moose?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Congratulations.
Legendary Moose. Well, it's the big show.
Congratulations.
Pleasure to meet you. Welcome. Yes, sir. What's y'all's tech thing? Tecum or something? Recum? What the tech saying?
Rambling Ray.
Rambling Ray.
There you go.
Whatever that is.
Free Tax USA, where federal filing is always free with no games or pricing gimmicks. Say goodbye to forced upgrades and unexpected.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We'll get started with the Auburn student athletes. Please raise your hand, and we're going to go right here, third row on the right to start off with. And please direct your questions to individuals as much as possible.
Okay. Philip Marshall, Auburn 247 Sports. For Janai and Miles, just talk about the journey you guys have been on, coming from other places and then thriving at Auburn.
Janai first.
Janai first. For sure. You know, my journey has been amazing. You know, it's been a long, fun ride. You know, I started in Morehead State, Kentucky. You know, a small city right next to Lexington, which I've kind of, you know, took 2 years to kind of find myself and develop my game and becoming who I am today. And, you know, a couple years ago, transferred over with the Auburn Tigers and Bruce Pearl. And, you know, just kept trying to get better, kept growing my game. And, you know, right now I'm sitting at a podium at the Sweet 16 in Atlanta, looking to advance.
Miles?
For me, like Janai said, it's been nothing but amazing. Did 3 years at Georgia Tech, so this is a full circle moment for me to be in March Madness, Sweet 16, and being able to have the opportunity to come back here to Atlanta, play in front of my family and stuff like that. So, and just playing for BP and Auburn has been nothing but great for me. So I'm just super grateful.
Let's go to the left side. We have four over here. Go ahead, fourth row on the aisle.
Chris Ballas at the Wolverine on 3. Janai, Dusty May said he recruited you hard at FAU. Do you remember that? How close was that to happening? And did you have a relationship with him?
Yeah, he did recruit me pretty hard. Somebody committed. I was going to visit, but somebody committed the weekend before. And so, like, nothing ever, like, happened after that. The scholarship was took, so, yeah, they was recruit me pretty hard, though.
Back row on the aisle.
Martin Maker of ESPN for all three players. What happened before the season that kind of brought this group together and helped you all prepare for what we're seeing now today?
Miles, why don't you start and we'll come my way.
For me, I can speak for me. I mean, I just looked at our roster before coming here. That was the biggest thing for me. I knew Auburn had a lot of great pieces coming back, and I felt like we could do something special what we're doing right now. So that was like the deciding factor for me coming here, and I knew me coming here would just add another piece to this team and make us even more dangerous.
Dylan?
You know, first and foremost, all glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, for me, the difference was just everyone just buying in off the bat. You know, Bruce Pearl had these mandatory 9 a.m. breakfasts. It's kind of been our tradition the past 2 years. But the difference with this year's team is we started to have Bible study at these breakfasts. Really just planting the seeds for the Lord to just, you know, have His way in our hearts and just learning sacrifice early on, sacrificing our time for the Lord, sacrificing our pride for each other. These guys just bought in.
Did you want everybody on that? Yeah. Go ahead, Janai.
Kind of what Dylan said and what Miles said, you know, I think before this year started, I think everybody kind of took a leap in their faith, you know, and kind of, that's on the court and off the court, you know, our brotherhood, our togetherness kind of all plays a hand in our Bible study and things like that. But also as the guys we brought in, we brought our quarterback last year, We won the SEC championship. We had a good year, but we lost the first round. And we come in and bring guys in like Miles, Tahad, Turtle, Jakai, JP. You know, so you're bringing good guys like that, and they just all came in looking to do whatever it takes to win, and it's just paying off.
Two more on the far left in the fourth row.
Joe Henderson, The Technique. Miles, obviously you're returning to Atlanta and close to your previous school. How have you changed since leaving Tech, and how has it been adapting to a new role on your team?
I wouldn't say I really changed for the most part. I'm still the same guy I was here, hardworking, likes to get in the gym, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just adapting to my new teammates and stuff like that. I think that's the biggest difference from Georgia Tech and here. Just learning how to play with new players and seeing what they're comfortable on the court and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it was really a change, but just learning how to adapt.
One more there on the left side.
Shelley Winter, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Two questions, so I don't have to take too much time. One, the first question is, what has the impact of NIL been on not your individual careers, but do you think on college basketball as a whole? And the second question is, Mr. Caldwell and Mr. Broom, both of you brothers mentioned your love of the Lord. I'm seeing that more and more within college basketball, within sports. What do you attest that to?
I'll answer the second one first. I believe that the Lord is just moving in the country. There's always been players that have been outspoken, you know, in their faith. I remember the person kind of that planted that seed for me when I was younger was Steph Curry. I wasn't a Steph Curry fan at all, but just seeing him glorify the Lord and how he operates was something that I've always wanted to do, and it's helped me grow closer to God when I was a freshman in high school. But I think the country's just learning that we can't live life without him. We can't do without him at all. And the Lord allows us to have success, but we're not praising the Lord just because we're successful. But there's just been many times that the Lord just kind of showed his hand. I'm not sure why there's a resurgence in the athlete world. I can't really answer that outside of saying that the Lord is moving. He's just having his way, and he's using these athletes to be a vessel to just kind of just continue to spread who he is each day.
I'll say kind of the same thing what Dylan said, but I add a little bit more. I think it's just, more people are speaking out and, sharing their beliefs and sharing the word and on the platform we've been given, so I think it just opens the door for, athletes who may have the same beliefs to kind of agree or to speak their heart or what's on their mind as well, just by seeing other or big athletes like Steph Curry doing it and people like that. I feel like it just opens that door for everybody to do it.
And then to answer your NIL question, for me it's just been life-changing. I think it's been beneficial to every single person. I think obviously you can look at a person like Janai Broom, who probably went to the league, I think his first year at Auburn or second year at Auburn, but the impact of NIL has kind of really just allowed players to stay in college for longer, and it's kind of been that trade-off of like, do I want to risk going late first round or second round, or do I want to come back to school and get more money and also work on my game and work on those defects rather than going into the NBA where it's a business, where it's a cutthroat business where you just can't afford that time really just to go in there unready. And so I think NIL is one of the best things that happened, in college basketball history. I do think it needs to be a little bit more regulated. But other than that, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful to be so blessed to be in a time as this where athletes can kind of just really just reap the benefits of the work we put in. So it's rewarding.
Back row on the right side.
Jack Leo, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm just curious, this one for Dylan and for Miles. Obviously, you guys got some roots in the greater Atlanta area. What's it kind of meant, I guess, for you two guys to be able to play close to where y'all grew up and where you played so much ball?
For me, it means everything. When I was coming out of high school, that's the reason why I chose Georgia Tech, to kind of stay close to my family. And then Auburn, coming here, it means, Georgia, Atlanta is only like an hour and a half away from Atlanta. So, like I said, this is a full circle moment for me to be able to be in March Madness, Sweet 16, and come to Atlanta and play, have a chance to go to the Elite Eight in Atlanta, and then have a chance to go to the Final Four in Atlanta in front of my family and stuff like that. So, it's just a blessing, and I'm super grateful for this opportunity.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It's a dream come true in a full circle moment. You know, I grew up watching the Hawks in Phillips Arena, and so it's just real fun to be in Atlanta. You know, shout out McEachern High School. I don't know what high school you went to, but McEachern's the best high school in all of Georgia. Everybody knows that. You know, we got Sharif Cooper, Isaac Okoro.
No Dylan Cardwell?
Nah, I'm a humble guy. So we got way more guys than that. I'm just blanking on a few. But anyways, we're a football school, basketball school, McEachern track school. McEachern got everything, 7A. Anyways, yeah, I just love being in Atlanta. I love being in Georgia. It's just a great opportunity to just continue to really just show how great, you know, Georgia is as a state. I think it's one of the best states in the country.
Fourth row on the right.
Second.
John Titel from Hoops HD for Janai. I believe the only two players in the history of the sport with 2,600 points and 1,500 rebounds are Elvin Hayes and you. I know you can't win games in the tournament without all your teammates and coaches, but as far as your individual legacy, do you think you're one of the best players in the history of the sport?
I mean, I'm going to leave that up to everybody else to judge. I'm not going to speak on that. You know, I'm still playing. I'm trying to win a game versus Michigan. And me and my teammates trying to, you know, advance as far as we can and keep making history.
Second row on the right.
Charles Odom with the Associated Press for Janai and Dylan. Coach Pearl said that he ran it by the players Saturday night before beginning his post-game with a political statement about the hostage being released. Did it surprise you that he came to you guys with that request, or are you accustomed to him having a political slant and interest in stating his political opinion from maybe the recent presidential election and other things?
You know, I think Auburn University does a great job of allowing us to really just live as Americans. You know, the First Amendment, kind of the freedom of speech. Auburn kind of gives us that platform to use our speech to really just show what we're passionate about. You know, when George Floyd tragically passed, Auburn gave us a platform to talk about Black Lives Matter, and Bruce Pearl allowed the players to go out there and talk about things they're passionate about in the same way. He has that same right to talk about things he's passionate about. Obviously, he is Jewish, he is Israeli, and he's passionate about Israel. And so I think that he does have the right to obviously be an American and speak about what he's passionate about, regardless of the fact of what our views are, because he comes across in a respectful but obviously compassionate way.
And it's kind of do what Dylan said. You know, like he said, he asked us, you know, so he did it in a respectful way, you know. But that's the type of guy he is, you know. He has a strong belief in what he loves, but at the end of the day, he still asked us to see how we felt about it. And like you said, we're behind our coach, you know, and what he loves.
Back row on the left on the aisle.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN again. For Janai and Dylan, some teams start a couple 7-footers. I don't know how many have ever played that pick and roll, pick and pop game that Michigan does through their 7-footers. What do you all have to do to deal with that? How difficult is that with two 7-footers and the way that they use them?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different and unique. I'm appreciative of the opportunity of two great guys, you know, two NBA prospects as well. So just another opportunity just to play against the field. But you know, Janai and I play a lot of 2-on-2 in the country. I mean, we play a lot of 2-on-2 in the summer, really just against AD, against Chaney, Miles. We played against the whole team, and we didn't lose a single game. We won every series, and so we got pretty good chemistry, and we're pretty confident in our skill set and stuff like that. But it should be a fun matchup. But we've been playing 2-on-2 all summer to prepare us for this moment. You know, Miles Kelly couldn't stick with us.
I can't testify. I mean, yeah, like Dylan said, you know, it's gonna be fun. You know. You have to enjoy the moment. It's a Sweet 16. You know, we're going up against two 7-footers. You know, it's gonna be fun. Everybody in the locker room looking forward to the matchup. You know, our front line is definitely looking forward to the matchup. But yeah.
Third row on the right on the aisle.
Dylan, you've got, or will have 2 championship rings from your time at Auburn.
3.
3 with two regular season championships.
Yeah, 2 regular season, 1 SEC tournament. You know what I'm saying? More coming soon.
You've seen kind of the transformation of Coach Pearl taking advantage of the new rules and bringing in guys like Janai and Miles and others. How different has that been, and what role have you played as the old man of the bunch in kind of accepting those guys into the fold and making them feel comfortable?
Yeah, you know, Bruce Pearl's recruited some great guys over the years that I've been here, but he he stands on the business when it comes to saying that he does recruit guys that are Auburn men that are just going to come in. They're going to be guys that you love. And so he's got role guys in here. He's gotten guys that we need for scoring, for defense, for facilitating. And so the role I play is just I try to be the glue. Shout out Gorilla Glue if y'all want an NIL deal. But I'm super glue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that. I love Elmer's, but I don't know if Elmer's got a super glue. So Gorilla Glue, I just try to hold it tight. Without glue you can't build things, and I just try to be the glue guy for this team, because you really can't go anywhere without that guy. That's kind of just, being here before, sharing my experience, but also kind of keeping these guys level-headed. I think, we're in the Sweet 16, we're Lord willing going to the Elite Eight, but I haven't been this far before. But I kind of just try to share my experience with them and realize it's just a game, the game we love to play.
That's all we got time for. Thank you very much, fellas.
War Eagle.
Thank you.
War Eagle.
I'll see you again. You bet.
Okay, raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll come to you with a microphone. Who wants to go first? Let's go here on the far right, third row.
Hey, Coach. Andy Mathis, USA Today. I'm not sure if you've heard or seen, but former coach Chuck Person is supposed to be at your game this weekend. Has that been a motivator or a distraction at all for your team, or have you even paid attention to that?
I haven't really paid attention to it. I know Chuck's in Atlanta, so I'm sure like all of our other, former great Auburn Tigers, Chuck's excited about his team being in the Sweet 16.
Let's go third row here on the left on the aisle.
BP, Justin Hoganson, Auburn Live. I was going to ask you about playing and also portaling right now. We've heard a lot of coaches just talk about the difficulty in that right now. How are you sort of balancing trying to win a national championship and rebuild a roster for next year?
Yeah, I loved Tom Izzo's response. I loved it. It was authentic. It was real. And he is laser focused right now on trying to give his team the best chance they possibly can to advance to the Final Four. And I get it. I get it completely. I'm not spending any time on it. I'm focused on, like Coach, what we're doing. I've made a couple calls, but not many, just to reach out. We've got a big staff, so our guys are just letting the potential prospects know that we got work to do. Hopefully, we're working for a couple of weeks, but when our season is over, we'll begin to put that roster together next year. I think the only other thing I would say about it is this, because I was also on the NABC committee for trying to figure out when the best time to open the portal. I'm glad that the portal has gone from 45 days to 30 days, because I think 30 days is enough time for those guys to decide whether they want to stay, when they want to go. And I think the reason for the timing of doing it just after the Sweet 16 is almost all the teams in the country except 16 teams, the season's over. And so if you're a student athlete and you're at another Division I institution and your season was over at the beginning of March, you're supposed to have to wait 3 or 4 weeks until the Final Four is over before you can move on with the rest of your life. So I think the National Association of Basketball Coaches kind of looked at it and said, hey, what might be best for all the student athletes when we decided to kind of do it at this window. Yeah, it's a little inconvenient for 16 teams, but these other student athletes need to be able to figure out what's going on for the rest of their lives.
Back row on the left on the aisle.
And just so you know, I'm also not a big fan of this transfer every year. We're teaching the kids to flee, not fight. I think the one-try transfer is great. I think the grad transfer is great. I always had guys transfer and came in, and in that year where they were not eligible to play, they got caught up academically, they got caught up physically, and they were so much more valuable after spending a year on campus, understanding the system a bit, like bringing back another veteran. So, but I don't make the rules, but I got to play by them.
Go ahead, Myron Metcalf, ESPN. Bruce, you've obviously coached a lot of basketball, seen a lot of teams. How many 7-footers together have you seen like this in this Michigan lineup? And how many times have you seen two big men run the offense the way that they do a lot of times at Michigan?
I haven't seen this since I watched McHale and Parrish, right? I mean, these two guys are special. They're special. Golden, in the Big Ten, he was the best player on the floor almost every single night. And Wolf, there's not another 7-footer in college basketball that resembles him. He's got Larry Bird type ball handling, passing, feel. And he's just a gifted player. And obviously they work beautifully together. Now they're going to be going up against Dylan Cardwell and Janai Broome and Chaney Johnson. Those three guys are going to be the focus of our defensive attack. And our ability to defend those two guys, as well as the number 42 comes off the bench and shoots it a little bit for him, is going to be really the difference in the outcome.
Second row on the left.
Mike Griffith, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Coach, I wanted to ask you kind of two-parter. One, couldn't help but notice the bracket. There's some teams you've faced in the past, I guess, at Tennessee that ended a few seasons. If you kind of trivially, it's a little bit trivial, but take note of that. And then, getting back to Izzo, asking about adjusting to the game, right? When you're talking about a 7-year-old coach that's done as long as Tom, do you see a lot of differences? And in truth, what are the adjustments outside of NIL transfer portal that we've seen over the last 10, 15 years?
Well, it would, Mike, in all fairness, and for full public disclosure, Mike covered me at Tennessee when I was a coach there. And so he remembered us losing the last game of the season to go to the Final Four to Michigan State. He remembered me losing my last game as coach at Tennessee to Michigan in a first-round game. So when Mike may have saw that bracket, that's not the first thing that came to, it may have been the first thing that came to his mind. It was not the first thing that came to my mind. Alabama State came to my mind, and Creighton or Louisville came to my mind, and this weekend we got a 4-team tournament against Michigan State, Michigan, and Ole Miss. So Michigan is as good as anybody in this field. They are. And I told our guys, I felt like Creighton could be in this group very easily. They'd made 4 out of the last 5 Sweet 16s. And I told our guys, if we can beat Creighton, when we get to Atlanta, there's not going to be anything there that's going to be beyond overwhelm us, right? Or even maybe the Final Four. We're good enough to beat Creighton if we're good enough to beat Michigan. And of course, the survive and advance thing, I think that's really true the first and second round for 1 seed. It is about survive and advance for the top seeds. You get to this point, we feel like we're playing for a national championship now, and we have 4 times we're going to have to do it. That's how we feel. I'm just telling you how I feel. You don't feel like you're playing for the national championship in the first and second round. I love Coach Izzo because of his authenticity. I love him because he's so 100% real, and I love him because he speaks for the coaches he represents us extremely well. But at the same time, remember this: nobody loves his student athletes more than Tom Izzo. Nobody. And so he gets the idea that we're finally able to compensate our student athletes, and we're finally getting caught up in a system that was just delayed in recognizing the value of our student athletes. And at the same time, I think what happened in the questioning, somebody was asking him about where he was in the portal, like he's going to be worrying about it. I'm not worried. The adjustments, we still have guys at Auburn that have been here 4 and 5 years. Dylan Cardwell, 5 years. Chris Moore, 5 years. Last year, Jalen Williams was 5 years. I mean, we're still doing it the old-fashioned way. At the same time, we have added some tremendous pieces through the transfer portal. Most of our transfer portal guys were guys that were from junior college, Division II, mid-major. I'm so proud of a guy like Janai Broome, who comes from a very mid-major background, and Denver Jones, and Chad Baker-Mazara, and Chaney Johnson. All those guys, they just speak to the American dream, the story. It doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you finish. So changing in the profession, you just got to adjust with the rule changes.
Back row here on the right side.
Jack Lear, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Coach, I'm just curious, you talked about keeping a strong presence in Atlanta, recruiting, all that kind of stuff. What would a couple tournament wins, I know you play here annually, but what would a couple tournament wins do for maybe boosting that Atlanta I guess, strength a little bit?
Well, it's great to be in Atlanta, and it's great to point out the quality of Atlanta basketball, particularly Atlanta high school basketball. It's as good as it is anywhere in the country. But honestly, winning here won't mean anything when it comes to recruiting anymore. I love to talk about Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith and Chuma Okeke and J.T. Thor and Sharif Cooper and Jabari Smith and about 7 or 8 Atlanta kids that are in the NBA that developed at Auburn, won championships. But right now, when it comes to recruiting, I don't know how much that means to an Atlanta high school player. Right now, it is more about the NIL. It's become way more transactional. They don't care about the fact that I've graduated 46 student athletes in the last 11 years. That I've graduated 33 African-American men in the last 11 years. That stuff used to matter. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter as much anymore. It still matters to me. It still matters to Tom Izzo. It still matters to our university. And I'm proud of it. And if you're uncomfortable hearing it, I'm sorry. Sorry for making you a little uncomfortable. But we are still coaches, and these are still student athletes, and we still have a responsibility to coach them as hard as we can. But when we're leaving them now, we need to leave them with a degree and not just the ability to work at Subway, but to own 5 of them. That's where we are right now, and I'm really happy about that.
Right side on the aisle, third row.
Bruce, after the 2022 season, and you'd lost Jabari and Walker, and since then, you've probably signed more transfers than you have freshmen. And now the result has been now that you're here in the Sweet 16. Could you just talk about that journey and your journey in recognizing what you needed to do?
Sure. I mean, the transfers that we've been able to get, guys. I have right now 11, actually 12 guys on scholarship. We get 13. I have never had 13 scholarship players since I've been at Auburn because I can't keep 13 happy. So one guy gets a walk-on scholarship every single year. And right now, I actually have 2 in that category. And so the reason is you just want to put the kids in positions to be successful. I don't want to over-recruit. I want to have enough, but I don't want to have too much. And so I'm really, really pleased that with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 student athletes since the transfer portal's open, every single one of our transfers have come in and have had major impact, been all conference, been starters. So we pride ourselves in getting the right guys and making sure that we need them. That's the one thing about the difference between recruiting freshmen and young kids. They got to come in, they got to develop. You don't have to need them right away. And if they want it right away, freshmen, you better get a great one like a Tahad Pettifer. Otherwise, they're going to have to be patient. But when it comes to recruiting transfers, I think we have an obligation as coaches to only recruit transfers who can have some impact for us right away. And so that's what all of my transfers, almost all of my transfers have done.
Far left side, second row.
Hey, Robbie Listella, Bracketeer.org. A lot of talk about the portal, but I want to ask about your star freshman guard, Tahad Pettiford. Did you kind of know he'd have the confidence to succeed against veteran guards? And was there ever a moment you were concerned? And also, was there a moment where he kind of broke through for you?
Yeah. So Tahad, he comes from a great family, and he's got great high school coaching, great AAU coaching. And his dad has handled him like as good as any father could. He always played him up. He always played him against older kids. And Tahad was always the smallest guy in the playground. He was always the littlest guy out there. And so therefore he always had so much to overcome, yet he might have been the best player out there. So Tahad was somewhat overlooked. He was ranked 25th, 26th, 27th coming out of high school. There aren't 25 high school freshmen in college this year that are better than Tahad Pettifer. But he got a chip on his shoulder. He's a little guy. And every time he goes out there to prove it, where I was wrong about Tahad, I thought Tahad was going to come in and be a scoring guard. Like, don't worry about running the team. Don't worry about being a point guard. Just come out here and bang shots, guard a little bit, make some stuff happen. Just do what you do. And instead, I recognize that, wow, he actually can handle the team. He can break pressure. He can close games. He can be a scoring point guard. And so he's exceeded my expectations as far as being able to play point guard, rather than being a scoring guard. He had very little drop up and down as a freshman. He was very, very consistent. Maybe at the very end of a regular season, at the very beginning of the SEC tournament, he may not have shot it as well for a couple games. And then he lived in the gym since then. And obviously he had a phenomenal weekend in Lexington to help us advance.
Last question in the back on the far left.
Bruce, Andrew Kahn, MLive.com, Ann Arbor News. I was wondering if you could speak about any history you have with Dusty May and, the fact that he's rebuilt a roster, kind of from scratch and brought them here.
How good a hire was Dusty May from Michigan? How good a hire was that, right? So a couple of pieces of history. Back when I was a coach at University of Southern Indiana, USI in Evansville, Indiana, he played for Oakland City and played for Mike Sanafar. And so we played them, one time. And then I just remembered him for being on Florida's staff, so on Mike White's staff for a little bit, right? Am I correct about that? Okay. And then my dad lived in South Florida, and my dad would sort of every now and then go to breakfast meetings with sort of basketball people down in South Florida that love basketball, and anything for some bagels and cream cheese, anything. And Dusty remembered my dad being at a couple of his and I didn't think it was possible for them because we just weren't talented enough. And I didn't think it was possible for them because we just weren't talented enough. That team came to Nashville and beat Mississippi State, beat Texas A&M, and beat LSU. 3 huge upsets. Texas A&M and beat LSU. 3 huge upsets. And then we played on the Saturday against Kentucky, a team that won the national championship. And
thank you, Coach.